Last week was Mario Day, and because of that, we are going to be looking at 5 childhood Mario games and ranking them from best to worst. However, before we get into that, I just want to say thank you guys so much for 400 subscribers. It is insane on how fast we have grown. I mean, from one day, we were at 237. And then from a week from that, we were already close to 400. And then after that, now we're at 400. To me, that's just insane. And that just makes me happy. It makes me happy to know that you guys chose to subscribe to me. But, there is one thing I do also want to talk about. The special I've been talking about. So, the special has been delayed a lot. And so I'm going to be, saving that for the 500 subscriber special. Because we appear to be growing at a very rapid pace. And, that's just amazing. It's just amazing. Like, the support has been crazy. But anyways, with that being said, thank you guys so much for 400 subscribers, and let's get into the video. So keep in mind that I said Mario games, which will be including other Mario games from the franchise that aren't centered on Mario. So if I have played WarioWare games, Luigi games, or Yoshi games, or even Peach games, they would all be included in the ranking. One last thing, these rankings will be off of games that I have personally played, so you can play along if you have played these games as well. Or just rank them yourself. Remember, these are also my opinion, so yeah. So now that you know how this works, let's get into this. The first game we are going to be ranking is New Super Mario Bros. For the DS. And honestly, I've had so many goddamn memories with this game, it's not even funny. Like, dude, this is an excellent game. However, the first thing we're gonna look at is the boss battles. But I mean, the boss battles are fine, and I mean, you don't have to deal with annoying Koopalings, and also you get a giant Goomba. But I'm talking about the last boss battle, when you fight both Bowser Jr. and Bowser. I mean, it's kind of a lame boss battle. And the main thing you really gotta do is just jump over Bowser Jr. and go under Bowser when he jumps, and then after that just press the button and they both fall. Hell, that's what I literally did when I was younger. When I first completed the game, that's what I did. And then that's it. There's like no second stage or anything like that. That's it, you beat the game. Now, like any other Mario game, this game has multiplayer. Now, when you hear multiplayer, you might think of helping your friend out to complete the game, playing fun mini games, but no. Instead of doing that, for this Mario game, you guys kill each other. You could give the brothers endless lives if you want, and then you could just win off of stars, or you could give the brothers limited lives and have the brothers kill each other for the victory.
You can go to hell, Mario!
It got pretty chaotic when I would play it. Because of how fun the multiplayer game was for people, this game was actually turned into an online game, where a lobby of 10 people play as Mario and Luigi and go around killing each other. And this online thing was popular for a while. Overall, the main thing I really don't like is just the final boss battle and how easy it is. It doesn't really earn the title of a final boss battle, in my eyes at least. There are some things that would change about the normal levels and the bosses, but I mean, the main thing that really makes up for it is just the multiplayer. So I'm gonna put this game at around a 7 out of 10. The next game we will be ranking is Super Mario 64, but not the one that came out in 1996, the one that came out for the DS years later. And I have explained in a previous video that this is my favorite Mario game, but I'm gonna try to rank it as fairly as I can. So the story pops off the same way the first game did. Peach sends Mario a message, Lakitu flies around the castle, Yoshi is still asleep on the castle, and then a pipe comes out, and of course Mario jumps out of it. But this time he has company. Now, the first Mario game didn't have any playable characters besides Mario, and that's it. So it's a huge step up from the first game, especially when you couldn't even have Luigi. Matter of fact, Luigi was supposed to be in the original game, but he was scrapped and I don't really know why. But he was supposed to be in the game because there was supposed to be a multiplayer mode. Now, to the levels, there's not much difference from this game than the original game. However, there are some new challenges and maybe some new levels. I also like how each of the plumbers get their own abilities. For example, Mario becomes a balloon, Luigi turns invisible, and Wario turns into a goddamn metal Wario. Like, that's actually pretty cool. You know, now looking back at it, Mario 64 and Mario 64 DS are not that similar, gameplay-wise. Of course, the map-wise, yes. I mean, Yoshi can literally turn into the characters, which is, like, actually really cool. I like that feature. He can turn into the characters, but it's basically Mario, Luigi, and Wario doing Yoshi noises, which is kind of funny. Plus, there's another giant Goomba. And the Goombas can wear caps! Now, I said earlier that the old Mario 64 game and the new Mario 64 game are not that similar. And that's because of the big changes that were added to the game. I mean, look at the Goomba from back then and the Goomba from now. Look at Mario from back then and look at Mario from now. They took away his classic peace sign. That's probably because of the more modernized designs, other than this. It's probably also because back then Nintendo was first using 3D and technology was not as advanced back then. I like how they went as far as to change the cake design. Now you have Mario, Peach, Yoshi, Luigi, and Wario. Back then you just had Mario and Peach. But it confuses me because back then Yoshi was in the game, and he's nowhere to be found on the cake. It's probably because he wasn't a playable character back then. Now you guys might be wondering, does this game have multiplayer? And that is yes, but it's not as chaotic as the Mario vs Luigi. However, you are going for stars again. But this time, you guys are playing as Yoshis, and there could be up to 3 players this time. The goal of the minigame is to collect the most stars, and the only power-ups you guys have are the caps. You guys turn into the characters when you actually collect the caps, and you guys lose the caps if you're damaged. No, you guys cannot kill each other. It's all based on the amount of stars you guys have for the winner. Now, while this game is my favorite, I do have to say that I prefer the other multiplayer Mario game, mainly because this one's not as chaotic, and it can get boring at times. And sometimes out of nowhere, the DS's will disconnect, and for no reason just play this horrifying sound. I swear, this is a sound you'd hear out of those anti-piracy Mario game videos. While the game is basically like the original Mario 64, it does have some different things, and it also has new characters, which makes it even more fun. And also, the castle walls don't feel so alone anymore. So I'm gonna give this game a 9 out of 10. The reason why I gave it a 9 out of 10 is because, first of all, the multiplayer is not that much fun, and also, would it have killed them to just add Waluigi? I mean, you add Mario, Luigi, and Wario. I mean, I like Yoshi a lot more than Waluigi. Hell, I don't even like Waluigi that much, but like, damn, the disrespect is crazy. Come on, Nintendo, we need more respect for Waluigi. Put him in Smash already. I mean, come on, you put him in Mario 64 Tennis. You're telling me you couldn't put him in Mario 64 the remake? The game that came out years after Mario 64 Tennis? Come on, Nintendo. More respect for Waluigi in the comments below. The next game we will be looking at is New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii U. Yep, just like how on the DS, there's also one for the Wii U. There's also one for the Switch called Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. I cannot tell you guys how much nostalgia I feel whenever I go back to this game or watch videos on this game. The reason why this game gives me so much nostalgia is because when I was around 8 or 9, my parents had a babysitter for me. And this babysitter had 3 other boys who were around my age. And because we were a little bit older, my babysitter understood that we were not going to be needing any more nap times. So what she would have us do is she would have us play with the little kids, like the little kids, like around 5 or 6 years old, and then after that she would put them to sleep. And when she would do this, she would send us forward upstairs to play on the Wii she had. And every single time, we would always play New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Matter of fact, this game is still popular. Many YouTubers are still playing it. Now there's something I love more about this game than the New Super Mario Bros. DS. And that is that 4 players can play this game now. The more players means more chaos. And that's what I love about this game, the chaos. Which makes the gameplay itself honestly much more fun whenever you're playing with friends. If you're playing by yourself, you can also have fun, but if you're playing with friends, it's even more fun, and also rage-inducing. However, there's a lot more stuff to the Wii version than the DS version. For example, power-ups. Now you get new power-ups like the propeller hat, the penguin suit, and the ice flower. Now let's talk about the boss battles. In this game, you fight the Koopalings. Now we all know that the Mario boss fights on the DS and the Wii are both easy as hell. However, I do prefer the DS bosses because they're actually unique, unlike where the Koopalings you fight them once and then after that you fight them again. They'll never come over the Big Goomba though. The Big Goomba is the superior one. Also, the final boss battle is actually considered a final boss battle in my opinion. Now I know first phase Bowser is pretty easy. I mean, you just kinda gotta go under him when he jumps and press the button and then you're done. Usual Mario stuff. However, then this happens. Bowser is back and is ready for round 2. However, he's much bigger and a lot more scarier. Now I'll tell you guys right now why I absolutely love this final boss battle, and it's not because of the music. It's not only because of the music. But I will tell you why the music plays a big part in this. You see, when playing the game and trying to literally run away from Bowser, you're not even fighting him anymore, you're running away from him. It brings a little kick of anxiety to the player when they're running away from Bowser. Now throughout this level, Bowser is repeatedly shooting fireballs at you. And all the fireballs are targeted at you, so you kinda gotta maneuver the fireballs to break the walls and so you can crawl through and get to the end of the level. Another thing about the music is that it makes Bowser seem like an actual threat and a danger to get away from. Now this part of the boss battle gave me so much anxiety. If you get too far away from Bowser, he will just jump at you and you won't know how close he's gonna get. And if he hits you, you just bounce off him so you can fall into the lava. Also, he causes lava waves that kill you instantly if touched. And if you're wondering, no, we didn't beat the level on the first try. We were getting swiped, we were getting hit into lava, we fell in the lava, it was just chaos. Now our babysitter did tell us to stay quiet so we don't wake up the other kids, and when it came to this part of the game, we did not stay quiet. We were screaming at the top of our lungs, and honestly, somehow we didn't wake the kids, but we were told to shut up by the babysitter sometimes. But one day we finally did it, where we found the switch to end our suffering. The switch to finally end Super Mario Bros. Wii. I'm not even joking when I say this, but when we pressed that button and watched as Bowser sunk into the lava, we jumped up from our chairs, started screaming at the top of our lungs, and got in a group hug like we just won the Super Bowl. I remember our babysitter coming into the room checking on us because we were probably sounding like we were getting murdered. But then after that, when we showed her that we finished the game, she actually started celebrating with us, telling us good job and congratulating us. Overall, with the new power-ups, the new gameplay, the endless amount of fun with friends, and the final battle, I'm happy to say that Super Mario Bros. Wii is one of, if not the best Mario game I've ever played in my life. So I'm going to give Super Mario Bros. Wii a solid 10 out of 10. If you don't have a Wii, go find one and play it, because it is an excellent game. You will not regret it. Our next game is Yoshi's Woolly World. Now when I first got my 3DS, this was the first game I ever got, and to be honest, it's not the best game I've played. But that doesn't mean I don't like it. The game begins with the Yoshis just enjoying life, until Magic Koopa arrives and just starts turning everybody into yarn. While this is happening, we get knocked into the rubber band pile. Now we try to stop Magic Koopa from getting away with the yarn, but instead Magic Koopa gets away with the yarn. However, we do manage to rip a small hole, so while he's trying to get away, he is dropping yarn all over the place. And it's up to us to collect that yarn to put the Yoshis back together. Now if you ask me, that's a very good Yoshi game story. So the first thing I do need to address is there multiplayer on this game? There is, but I don't know if there is for 3DS. I never tried it. I know for sure there's one for Wii U. However, for 3DS, I don't think so. The closest thing to multiplayer, at least for me on the 3DS, was a amiibo. Yep, for this game specifically, they made new amiibos. And I have one. He's cute. Now there are 4 amiibos total, those being Blue Yoshi, Green Yoshi, and Pink Yoshi. Oh, Light Blue Yoshi. And Poochie. Now before you ask, no, I don't have all 4. While I wanted all 4, my dad wouldn't let me purchase all of them. So I just have the blue one. Now if you scan these amiibos onto the DS will see it and it will give you a new Yoshi. However, the way this Yoshi works, it kind of works like Mario and Luigi from the Mario and Luigi story saga. Also, if you put an amiibo besides Yoshi on the DS, your Yarn Yoshi will become that amiibo. For example, if you put a Mario amiibo, your Yoshi will become Mario. Same goes for any other amiibo. God, I miss those things. That's really it for multiplayer. Now the next up is the music. The music is really calming in this game. I mean, if you were to have this music playing while studying, and you would be able to concentrate right, maybe. Maybe. Just maybe. Not only this, but this game actually lets you customize your own Yoshi. If you go back to Craft Island, you'll be able to go into one of these huts, and these huts let you create your own Yoshi, which is probably the best thing Nintendo has done. The gameplay is like every other Yoshi game, but what I like is that they have different details to certain knitting materials. For example, the start of the level, the arrow is pinned down by a, well, actual pin, and instead of collecting coins, you collect beads, which honestly I thought was a pretty cool detail. Now this game, like every other Yoshi game, has little secrets and puzzles that you'll need to go through in order to beat the game. Well, complete every level and get all the yarn and such. You could tell Nintendo went all out for this game, to be honest. Now Yoshi's Woolly World is the only Mario game, well, Yoshi type of game, to where I actually have a problem with the boss fights. You see, the boss fights get a bit repetitive. I mean, you fight a giant Monty and a Koopa 3 times each. Like, you fight both of them 3 times, and that's basically majority of the game boss fights. The boss fights are all the same, but maybe with just some modifications. However, that still doesn't change the fact that it's all the same. Now the Baby Bowser boss battle is actually pretty fun, honestly. It's one of the funnest boss battles in the whole game, to be honest. Even the first stage I like. It's not too quick, you know, it's not too quick. It is easy, but it's not that quick, and it actually is fun. At least for me it was. Now the second wave is even better. I just also like how in the cutscene Kamek just goes flying out of the castle. Now the way to beat Baby Bowser in this game is you have to eat the yarn that's around you and throw it at the packs of yarn that are floating around him, which are giving him power. An easier way to take out these yarn straps is you use these catapults and launch yourself behind him so that way he doesn't see you, buying you some time to take out these strips of yarn. Once you beat Baby Bowser, you have freed all of Yoshi's friends, and then afterwards, the Yoshis are finally safe. All in all, Yoshi's Woolly World is a good game, so I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It is a good game, but I feel like they could have done better with the bosses. But overall, the game is great. Last game is Yoshi's Island. Now I know it says Super Mario World 2, but it's basically a prequel, showing the life of baby Mario and Yoshi. The story begins with the stork trying to take two twins to their parents, but then Magic Koopa or Kamek tries to come in and kidnap the twins. He ends up snatching one, but drops the other one onto Yoshi's Island. We learn that this baby is Mario, and the one that was kidnapped is Luigi. Kamek then sends his minions to go get Mario, and Yoshi has to go find Luigi, and on the way, he encounters some enemies. Now this game has a pretty good story. You do go rescue someone, but this time it's not the princess. And there's new enemies. Now there's also a new mechanic where you throw eggs. Now throwing eggs isn't just for uncovering secrets and such. It's also really important, because in this game, if you lose Baby Mario, you have like 30 seconds in order to get him back. Now you might be thinking, how hard can that be? But if you're in a crowded area with no eggs and trying your best to get up there but constantly being hit, plus the countdown that's going off, plus Mario's screams, it will probably put you in a sense of being rushed and you might not be able to do anything about it. Baby Mario will get taken and will join his brother and suffer the same fate he will. Now with each world that passes, you will get a new Yoshi. That is until you see Green Yoshi again. Now let me tell you guys, in this game I love the boss battles, mainly because they are all unique and they are all different, unlike in the Mario games where it's like one boss battle and you fight the same one later on, just with a different background. I'm pretty sure one of these boss battles is just a normal frog, that Magic Koopa just shrinks you and then it eats you. Then you gotta kill the frog from the inside, and you have to avoid his stomach acids while destroying that dangly thing at the top. Once you destroy it, I think he poops you out and then you literally kill him. Look at him, he's dead. Now this last boss battle is possibly one of the most scariest boss battles I've seen in a Mario game. Now as ridiculous as this sounds, it's Baby Bowser. Now the first thing this little shit does is kill Magic Koopa and then mistaken you somehow for a green donkey and tries to sit on you. What you have to do is ground pound the ground so that way the ground hits him, and you have to do it 3 times. Afterwards, Kamek hits him with whatever he has from his wand and then he grows bigger. This leads to phase 2. Baby Bowser is now huge and breaks the flooring under you, while at first slowly walking towards you. What you have to do is collect these eggs that are hung by balloons and then throw those eggs at Bowser's head. But here's the thing, the more hits he takes, the more angrier he gets, and he's not walking. Towards the end of the fight, he's just charging at you. You can see how for a little kid, this would be kind of scary. This is what happens if you don't successfully beat Baby Bowser. Yoshi just gets crushed by Baby Bowser. However, all that relief starts to flood your body when this happens. After a horrifying battle with Bowser Jr., you finally find the stork and baby Luigi. Shortly after, the stork takes baby Mario and baby Luigi back to their parents, where he then leaves them and the parents finally get to have their sons. Which to me is one of the most beautiful endings I have ever seen in my life. Now with the gameplay, story, and bosses, I would put this game at a 7 out of 10. It's not as good as the other Mario games, but it is pretty good. Now, jokes aside, I want to end this video off on a good note. If you guys are like me and feel emotional or upset because you feel like this part of your childhood is over, think of it like this. I know this is an overused quote, but don't be upset because those moments are over. Be happy because those moments happened. Because every beautiful thing in life must end. That's what makes those things beautiful.